Well, it's no underestimation that anywhere that new opens, especially around here in Douglas, gets lots of attention. I've got to say, Frank Matcham has been doing it. Andy, another one of your empire building here. I've been here a couple of times as well, and it's been incredibly successful. And I don't need to dwell on that because obviously it is successful. But I was wanting to chat to you more about, for getting things going and working in this sort of industry these days, because we've had many chats in the past about it. But anyway, let's give it a plug first of all. Just tell us about this place.
Right, yeah, well, it's basically a new concept that we've seen in the UK. Basically tapas type food, order at the table on the app. But you don't have to, you can order at the bar if you're not that au fait with technology. But it was just, I noticed it in the UK a lot, that a lot of people since COVID are ordering on the app. And, we're all struggling with staff. So we thought it might be a way of basically trying to reduce the staff. But believe you me, it hasn't worked out that way.
It's slightly complicated. I know it's a work in progress. But I got there the other day. I did get it going. But this is the main reason for chatting to you, because I bumped into you the other day. I was fascinated to see how things have moved on since we had our chats, and the pizza pasta and those sort of people. The same thing constantly comes up about how to get a new venture off the ground. There's so many obstacles. Are they still there?
Yeah. I mean, we wanted originally, when we put in for planning for this, we wanted to put bifold doors in between these pillars here. And we got knocked back. We went to appeal. In hindsight, what we should have done was just gone for what we've got now, basically, and then applied for the bifolds. At least would have been open probably a year earlier.
So a year?
Yeah, but it took about a year.
Jeepers.
Yeah, so it's been a long, hard slog.
So is this planning then? It just slows things down like that? So you just get stuck? Because I remember seeing this thing almost finished a long time ago. I didn't realise it was that much time that it takes to get these things put through and then eventually knocked back.
Yeah. Well, that got knocked back, and then we had knock-on effects from we had a water leak under the floor in Barbary Coast, which took 7 weeks, and then the building company that was doing the work, obviously they were doing the work here, so we had to pull them off here because we couldn't get anybody to do the work there, which had a knock-on effect here because they had other projects to do as well. So, and then staffing issues. We had a lot of the staff organised and ready, and then as natural progression, you lose people along the way. So it has been difficult, very difficult.
Okay, well let's do the staffing, because this is one of the biggest problems on the island. Is it still? I mean, the work permit thing is meant to be relaxed. Are we there yet? Are you able to get people in as and when now?
I believe so. I mean, that more or less, if you apply for somebody, you get the work permit more or less straight away. So that's not the issue. I think the issue that we have is the volume of people that actually want to work in this industry. I think the younger people, people who say Brexit is the cause, it will have some impact on it. But a lot of it was to do, I think, with COVID. When COVID happened, a lot of the Eastern Europeans, they went back to Poland and where have you, Czech Republic and what have you, and they didn't come back, so we've lost out massively on there. Same as much as the UK, and it's the same for everyone on the island. So we've actually gone down the Filipino route now. We've got Justine and Danica from Platinum Recruitment that are bringing Filipinos in for us. I think we're on about 9 or 10 now, and I think there's about 4 more that are due. But the problem with that is that it's to obtain the visa, it's 42 days, and then they have to do a test, and then they have to jump through hoops, and then it sits in government for 2 or 3 weeks unless you can give them a nudge.
So still got some red tape issues here then?
Yeah, it sits on somebody's desk for a while. I have spoken to, I'm not going to mention any names, but I've spoken to 1 or 2 people that I know, and the next hallelujah, and the next day they're passed, and we've got them. But I understand that they probably have got a backlog and what have you, but but at the end of the day, when you need somebody to work, you need them now. You don't need them in 42 days or 3 months time.
Is that 42 days on a man issue, or is that a UK as well?
The 42 days is the visa, which I think is connected to the UK and the Isle of Man. Yeah. So then there's probably another 21 days with all the other red tape that goes on with it. Then you have to get them here.
Okay. So are things getting better in that sense? Not the staff thing, but just like that red tape, because that's the bit we're interested in. Is we were promised that things were going to make it easier to get staff in that sense.
Yes and no. I mean, yes, it is easier because they are getting through.
Yeah.
But it's just the longevity of it. Because, like I say, when you need staff, you need them now. It needs to be instant.
And what about accommodation? Is this a problem?
Accommodation's a problem. Fortunately, I've got a few properties that we put staff in, but they're getting thin now, and they need maintenance all the time. And obviously, the building company, which is obviously what my building company, with my partner with Paul, we're stretched to get all the work done. I was just round Staff House today, and they've had a leak through the bathroom, so we've got to move them out into somewhere else and redo the bathroom and we fixed the leak, but that's ongoing problems.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it takes people like you to invest in this sort of industry. As you say, it's a tough one. I think people don't necessarily want to go into it, as you say, to work. But I mean, the rewards seem to be beautiful. I mean, I'm guessing you're doing pretty big business here, because I couldn't get a table the other night. Even with
yeah, it's doing really well. Obviously, it's new, but the feedback that we're getting, we feel that it's and think that it's going to stay busy. It's a bit like Barbary Coast when we opened that 7 years ago, just before TT. Me and my partner Darren, who's a partner in this, we said, "Oh, don't worry, it'll calm down." That was 7 years ago. It still hasn't calmed down, so it's still busy. Jack's is Jack's, and Jack's has just always been busy. 33 years I've had Jack's, and it's just colossal. That's the biggest of them all, believe it or not. That does the most.
And looking back on my archives, it's 10 years ago since you did upstairs, would you believe?
That's right, yeah. We did the Steakhouse upstairs, which I've now changed to a smokehouse, that was a COVID decision as well, because Barbary did very well when we first did the takeaway menu during COVID, because of the style of menu that it was. Whereas Jack's doing steaks, not really adaptable for takeaway. So we changed the menu halfway through COVID to adapt, so that there was more items on there that people could order and take away, and we could deliver. So,
and I suppose just touching on that, I mean, have you fully recovered from all that issues?
Yeah, I mean, we as a group we lost over £1 million during COVID, which was painful.
Were you getting government grants for that? Or?
No. I think I got a prom loan for Jack's, but we got salary support, and that was it. And like everybody else, got the rates paid back for, I think it was 2 years worth of rates, which is nothing, it's compared to what £1 million loss.
Were you involved in that card, the love card thing? Did you get that?
Love Isle of Man card, yeah. To be quite honest, it was used quite well in Jack's and Barbary. But things like that, you have to kind of promote them as well, like not just hope that they work. We did say at the start that we didn't think it'd work, and it'd been better to push money in towards the hospitality sector a different way. But it did. Sure. It worked okay for us, not brilliant, but.
I think the jury's still out on how much it all costs everybody, but I mean that's another political decision. Anyway, talking about your planning though, you're going to go back for more. You're going to keep trying to get your new windows and doors and things, or is this it for now?
Well, we went to Douglas Corporation for a cafe licence. That's why there's the glass that we've got at the front here, the barriers with the outside seating. I would like to think that we could go back and readdress that, because obviously in the winter. The bifold doors will be brilliant, so if it's raining, which it predominantly does on the Isle of Man, we can shut the doors, and then as soon as the sun comes out we can open them up, so it's open. I mean,
everyone that goes past here, and obviously next door the villa as well, it looks very cafe culture around here now, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's lifted the area completely, I think. Just the buzz around here. We've only been open 2 weeks now, and just the buzz. I went home the other night and I had to drive past it about 3 or 4 times because I just thought it looked amazing. So I backwards and forwards, it looks great. So.
Well, to finish, are you now done? You got enough in your empire?
No, never finished. No, obviously we'd like to spread ourselves around the island if opportunities arise. I mean, there's been a few rumours floating about with brewery, pubs and what have you. I mean, we've got a really good relationship with Heron and Brearley. We have done for years. We've dealt with them for 33 years. We've got A&J Quality Butchers. We supply them with meat. And we use TDL to bring stuff in. So we've got a really...
Well, make an announcement now. Go on, what are you going to do?
Well, no, there's no announcement to make. I mean,
But you're interested?
if they've got anything that they want, I mean, they're looking at doing some tenancies.
Yeah.
Now, Barbary Coast is a tenancy of theirs, so it's one of the first ones. It was on a 21-year lease when we took that. I think there's 15 years left, 15 or 14 years left. So, yeah, I mean, if they've got anything available and it's interesting for us, of course we'll look at it. But like I said, nothing's been set in stone. I think it's just the Max rumours that have been flying around. Oh, Jax is going in here and Jax is going in there. But yeah, I mean, we're always talking.
Okay, well, just to finish this, let's just think about, in general, tourism and what we hear about it and how it's all going. What's your views? I mean, are we seeing these people coming in here, or is this mostly locals that make up your numbers?
Yeah, it's mainly locals. Locals are a very good trade, but I must say, I have noticed in the last year or so there has been a significant uplift in tourism, not just TT, but generally.
Are these ships coming in, do you think, though?
A lot of it's ships. We get quite a lot coming Jacks. There was a few coming here the other day from the ships, but it's not just that. That you got the coach parties or the coach tours that are coming over, and there's the purple pound, as I call it, like the older type person, which is me, by the way. But yeah, I mean, it's great to see people about and what have you, but we do need to do more.
I was just thinking that this ongoing thing about the trams, stop just a bit further there, doesn't they? Is that something that we should be doing, you think, or is that too indifferent from your point of view?
To be quite honest, I said the tram should have gone over the other side anyway and get them off the road. It's dangerous. I know what people say. Well, it's dangerous over there if you're walking, but when you're walking, you can hear and see things. When it's in a car and you're blocking the road with traffic. I mean, it's too late now, but...
Sure. But investment in things for people to do when they're on holiday, I guess.
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt. I would love to do more for kids. Summerland site, look at that, that's crying out for something to be done. If government would like to back me in that, I'm sure I could come up with some good ideas. I've got loads of good ideas that I would do there.
Have you got 5 years to sort of push it around? Because again, this is all down to how that site, for instance, is going to get redeveloped. It's going to be a long, long haul, isn't it?
Oh, of course it is. Yeah, I mean, that is like you say, a 5-year project to do something there, but we need to be looking at things like that. If we want to grow the population on the island to 100,000 plus, we need facilities for people. All our younger people are leaving the island. I've said it for years that we should, let's build a big university here and rather than leave, get people to come here. It would alleviate a lot of our staffing problems because they all need to work, and it would instantly boost the pub trade and everything because students like a beer or two.
Well, and on that note, thank you for talking to us today. And I was going to say, I don't need to do any advertising for you because it's amazing. I mean, did you have to do anything? You just opened and people came, didn't they?
That basically, yeah. I haven't done any advertising. A little bit on the radio, but that was it. But it's in a good spot, isn't it? Yeah. So, been a lot of interest with people walking past. And as soon as them hoardings came down, it was like, oh wow! And I knew it would because, it was quite a hefty investment that we've done in there. I mean, we bought the furniture over a year and a half ago. That's we've had it in storage, but each chair inside there was nearly £500 each.
Wow!
Yeah, so we didn't scrimp and scrape it was invested.
We'll come back in 5 years and see it's all still hanging on together, right?
Well, that's if I'm still here. I might be 6 foot under then.